All right, good afternoon all. My name is Evangelos Zacharis and I do come from Greece, and today I represent Hypertech. It's an IoT software and hardware solution developer and provider, and the aim of the company is through the solution is to assist our clients and users in residential and commercial buildings to optimize their energy use and local production. Although today I would like to speak about utility. Utility, it's a product, it's a solution, it's a project as well. It's an EU-funded project under the framework of Horizon 2020, and the aim of the project, as the long title stands for, is to transform traditional business model, utility business models, through the utilization of human-centric behavioral intervention and ICT tools towards energy efficiency. So, a bit of introduction. Let's speak about the energy transition. We all know that the energy transition is definitely happening. To what pace and scale, this is debatable. We can discuss long hours about this, but this is not part of this presentation. We take as a given that it's happening, and whether the drivers are related to the commodity prices, the narrow margin of the utilities, the maturity of technology, the existing and planned climate change policies, or the customer-driven itself changes, we take this as a given. And what we want to see through this project is how the utilities are facing this energy transition or the disruption in the energy business landscape. So we see customers becoming less grid dependent. This means that customers becoming prosumers, rely on their own energy production. We all live in a digital and data-driven world where the value of the data is significant nowadays, and we all see utilities fearing of losing their customers, and mainly losing the touch with their customers. Customers nowadays, they receive an energy bill either in paperwork or electronic format, but that's it. They don't receive anything else rather than the commodity, the volume of kilowatt hours. To respond to these challenges, we set it up utility as a project. So what we're trying to do is to take the customer by hand and going through a journey in order to reduce his energy use towards the energy efficiency. So utility project, what is about? It's about harnessing technology, behavioral change, and novel business models towards a more energy efficient future of the customer. What I mean is, in reality, what we're trying to do is to combine these three different worlds together: the technology, the energy business landscape, and the social science, the behavior of the end users. And how we do that? We either install or taking advantage of already installed equipment, smart sensors, actuators in buildings, and we're trying to capture raw data. And by capturing this raw data, we're trying to analyze and understand where and how the energy is consumed, in order to unfreeze the energy behavior of the customer, in order to reveal unconscious energy hungry and energy wasting activities and habits. When we are done with this, we go into the next phase, which is related to the change of their behavior. So by interacting with them through specific tools and applications, what we're trying to do is to change their habits, to make them consume less. And when we think that we have achieved this, we're trying to refreeze them and keep this momentum going in the future. We do also do a segmentation in our customers or pilot users, so we don't treat each customer the same way. So what we're trying to do is trying to segment in different groups. Depends on their behavior, in order to apply specific interventions. In order to give you an overview of the technology, you can see this conceptual architecture, and we start at the bottom with the actual smart IoT equipment that is installed in houses. This, as I said earlier, includes sensors, actuators related to the lighting system, to to the HVAC systems, to the occupancy and the ambient conditions of the space, and we collect this data through a gateway, a multi-protocol open source gateway that transfer this to our cloud. By respecting the data privacy and ownership, we process and manage the data in order to go to the backend system as a backend application in order to reveal their behavioral profiling and as an ultimate goal to understand whether there is any energy waste related to their behavior. Typical examples can be people who left the room and left the lights on, people who left the thermostat in a higher temperature and the heating system keeps running, and so on and so forth. So what the end user sees is it's like an application. It's a tool that make him engage with the system and try to apply energy efficiency techniques. Also, at the same time, we do provide tools for the utilities, for the energy retailer, in order to manage and optimize their portfolio. If we want to see some typical examples of the user view of the system, of the utility system, we can see things like the energy performance application display, things related to their activities. So we're trying to match and combine activities inside the house, if we're talking about residential premises, with energy use. So as an example, you can see information related to how much you have consumed the last month for heating, for cooling, for entertainment, for kitchening, etc. At the same time, the utility system does a lot of intervention through notification. So we're trying to provide feedback to the user real time by sending a notification to their mobile phone through the app. So you can on one day you can have a message saying like, hang on, you left the lights on and it's not that dark. Why you need that lighting, that artificial lighting, and not rely on the sunlight and things like that. Similar things for the heating system and the cooling system. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to validate our solution by responding to specific questions. So it's a combination. We're trying to find the tipping point, the golden line, let's say, between the energy efficiency, the user acceptance, and the degree of automation, in order to see whether our solution is feasible and can provide something meaningful to both the utility or the energy retailer and the end user. So how much energy can be saved? What's the tolerance of the end users with regards to their behavioral habits and comfort preferences in order to achieve this energy efficiency, energy consumption reduction? And what's the degree of automation? How automated a system should be in order to fulfill the user preferences and at the same time to achieve energy efficiency? And we do that by going through a round of services, a different level of services. So we start with pure awareness without installing anything in the houses or the commercial buildings, and we're going to real-time monitoring where, as an example, a smart meter is enough to extract data and analyze this data to disaggregate it and understand where exactly the energy is consumed, and going to more advanced level of services which are related to real-time triggering with the notification I mentioned earlier, or real-time triggering and provision of personalized feedback based on their profiling, because through the artificial intelligence and the machine learning we know exactly what the user wants inside the house, what's the comfort boundaries of the user. If he likes the living room being between 21 to 25 degrees, or if he likes to be a bit more chilled, to 18 to 23 as an example. So we try to keep them within their comfort boundaries, and wherever or whenever we see that they're going beyond or below, above or below, we're trying to send them notification in order to make them going back to what they like. At the same time, except at the level of services, we're trying to integrate different building intelligence level. So we want to see whether by installing a lot of equipment, by installing a lot of sensors, is something that it has a benefit, or maybe we can achieve the same benefit by installing less equipment and being a non-intrusive process. So this is part of the project, the 3 years project. We are at the end of the second year now. We're beginning the validation phase, and this is the things that we like to test on site in 200 installations across Europe. So we have installations in Germany, France, Spain, Greece and Poland in both commercial and residential buildings. And the reason we selected these particular countries is to have an overview of the Europe and the different energy cultures that we can find in different EU member states, as well as all the climate conditions that are different from the north to the south. So as an example, in Germany we do expect, and we found a lot of people worried about their heating consumption. In Greece or Spain we see them worry a bit more about their cooling instead of heating. We have, as I mentioned, pretty much 200 installations approximately in Europe in both commercial office-based buildings and residential buildings. So it's a large number of end users. We're happy enough that we can collect all this data, analyze it, and provide this solution in order to improve our technical solution at the same time. And we try to provide solutions tailored to each end user. What I mean is we treat each end user differently based on their installations, their needs, their preferences, and their behavior profiling. If they are an environmentalist, we will not never speak about through the app about money. If they are money driven, what we would like to show to them is how much they save in their pocket at the end of the intervention, at the end of the month, let's say. With regards to the business models, we're trying to transform traditional utility or energy retailing business model instead of providing kilowatt hours to the energy as a service. So we have developed a framework under which there are two particular concepts that we have grouped different business models. The one is the retailer to become an ESCO, an energy service provider. And the other one is the retailer to become an aggregator and provides service to the distribution grid as well. With regards to the ESCO type of concept, our main focus is related to the energy efficiency as a service, and how can we ensure that we keep their comfort boundaries as they want. At the same time, we can have, through the installation of the sensors, we can extract data related to the energy efficiency audits that could lead or inform decisions related to energy efficiency measures and renovation. On the retailer as an aggregator concept, we mainly focus on the assistance of the distribution system operator and how can we minimize their cost, how can we provide dynamic retailer pricing schemas in order to avoid peaks, or for the benefit of the actual energy retailer to optimize their supply and demand imbalance and their participation to the wholesale market through the intraday and the day ahead. So, to a certain extent, it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win approach. On the one side, from the customer perspective, we can, through the solution, we can provide energy efficiency and energy bill reduction if we're talking about commercial buildings, and energy performance optimization per space. What I mean is that different office spaces, they have different needs. As an example, different needs. It has a meeting room instead of an open plan office space. We can also, through the system, meet legal obligations for public buildings. We can provide enhanced energy analytics, and we can ensure a higher level of employees' health, well-being, and productivity. On the residential sector and the B2C segment, definitely all of us want, when going back home, to enjoy home automation and simple, easy to use energy management systems with systems that can actually achieve increased home comfort, efficiency and safety, and at the same time to cut down our energy bills. On the utility side, we're talking about a scalable, flexible energy as a service business model, which can create value through the personalized services related to lifestyle, conveniences of use, saving for specific customer groups or segments. So by applying this, by implementing this approach, we can ensure a greater customer retention and acquisition, to optimize the trade-off between the self-serve and the out-of-touch I discussed earlier at the beginning of the presentation. And definitely what is personally makes me think about this product as an added value is the portfolio data inside. So you can tailor your, as an energy retailer, you can tailor down your services, what you provide based on things that you have captured, based on data that you know that is really based on data that is applicable to your clients, and by that you can expand your portfolio and engage with the next generation consumers and explore novel business models. This is a representation of the energy as a service platform and how it works with all the market actors. So on the left side we can see the grid with the system operator and the DSO, and how these actors react with the platform through the hat of the ESCO or the aggregator of the energy retailer. Can be the same entity, the ESCO, the aggregator, and the energy retailer. So there is a technology provider providing the solution, which is related to both hardware and software, is responsible for the hardware development and the maintenance, operation and maintenance of it. And the energy retailer or the ESCO, the aggregator, take advantage of the system, they use it, and they do provide services to the end user. What particular services? Definitely the energy use, energy efficiency as a service, flexibility as a service, enhanced energy analytics, real-time monitoring of the energy use, consumption, and notification and feedback. At the same time, because in the project in the consortium there are people working on the consulting services, they do inform us with regards to the feasibility and the business case, the go and non-go decisions, and there can be actors such as investors who can invest in this particular energy as a service platform in order to create the value. Who we are? So we are a team of 11 companies or academic institutions. We have 5 energy retailers across Europe, Tauron in Poland, SWT in Germany, My Energia in Spain, Mytilineos in Greece, and Sorea in France. We do have 3 solution and technology provider, namely the Hypertech company that I represent, Suite 5 and Etra. And we do have 3 institutions and consulting service provider, namely Vasa, University of Basel, who are responsible for all the social sciences part of the project, and Solenten, who are responsible for the market, for the energy market related aspects. So to wrap up, we are on the 2nd year of the project. We have just finished the 2nd year. So from the technology point of view, it's a viable solution. It was a lot of pain, but we are in a good position now to say that we have 200 installations across Europe up and running. And during the 3rd year of the project, what we're trying to do is going through the validation phase to capture the value, analyze it, do a cost-benefit analysis, and understand what's the actual benefit for both the end users and the utilities, the energy retailers. So pretty much that's it from my side. I'd like to thank you.
Do we have any questions from the audience? If not, from my side, what are the main barriers for a solution like this and the
Barriers.
drivers?
Barriers and drivers for adopting the solution, I suppose. Well, talking from the utility perspective, I would say is the immaturity of the market. I mean, yeah, it's true that the next generation is start becoming more and more engaged with the energy, but there are a lot of people who are not good in dealing with all these applications. They cannot even understand what a system like this is about. I'm talking about older people or people who are not within the actual digitalization hype, let's say. As a driver, definitely is for the utilities. My understanding is a good driver for them, is a proven one, is that they want their customer retention and acquisition numbers to increase. So what exactly this solution is providing is a mean to engage with their portfolio and provide narrow down services, tailored services to the needs of their customers. From the end user point of view, I would say that an aspect that is both a driver and a barrier, it's money. So everyone is.
It's always about money.
It's always about money. So every end user is a bit concerned about how much they spend for their energy every month. But at the same time, they're a bit skeptical in investing to something that might later on save them money.
Are there any other questions from the audience? In that case, I suggest we give another round of applause.
Thank you.
And we move to our next